So I think there's a chance you may all like this one just because, like Timberlake, I've got this feeling. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking an Apple TV Plus release that dropped at the end of last month, Palmer. Before we begin, let me know in the comments what your thoughts on this movie were, if you already saw it, if you were excited for it, if you weren't planning on seeing it, let me know so we can discuss. Also, make sure to hit that thumbs up button if you like these reviews, as it helps me out immensely by getting my channel out there and growing the community. And if you are new here, I hope you consider hitting that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with reviews of new releases, older films, hidden gems, and so much more on a near daily basis. But let's not waste any more time and let's talk about Palmer. This stars Justin Timberlake as Palmer, recently released from prison after serving 12 years for attempted murder. He moves in with his grandmother, played by June Squibb, and rediscovers his heart in the process of learning to accept his past and a new way of being in the world. This is directed by Fisher Stevens, and it's actually the first time in a while where Justin Timberlake is front and center for a live-action movie, because he's mostly had supporting parts as of late besides the Trolls movies, so it was nice to see him take on the lead here. And it's a story that we've seen countless times before. A lot of it will feel familiar to viewers. You have Palmer, who's this cold, emotionally distant sort of guy at first. He can't be bothered with anyone when he first moves in with his grandmother, but then the pieces start falling into place for him. It's mainly centered around his friendship with a boy his grandmother takes care of named Sam, played by Ryder Allen. And at first, Palmer couldn't care less about him, but then they start to get closer as he spends more time at the house. Then Palmer starts changing his ways. They also set up an obvious romance early on with Sam's teacher Maggie, played by Alicia Wainwright. And the fact you can call a lot of where this movie goes may rub some viewers the wrong way if you're looking for something new. Even though it takes place in the present, it has that old-time Heartland America feel that we've seen in I don't know how many movies at this point that go back for like decades. And while I wish this kind of took some risks, it still ultimately works for me, and that's mainly due to the performances. They all sell this for me, and despite its predictable nature, they still give the film this nice, authentic feel that will allow you to connect to each of the characters. I'd say this is probably one of the better performances I've seen from Justin Timberlake. At first, most of his time on screen consists of him just pacing angrily, grunting, trying to keep his distance from everyone, and it doesn't give him much to work with. But as the film goes on and he starts opening up, he had a little more to do, and it felt like a very natural progression for him. He doesn't do this total 180 in terms of personality change, and even though it's the kind of journey we've seen before, Timberlake gives it his all, and because of that, I was able to care about the character. But the real standout here is Ryder Allen as Sam. They could have easily made his character your typical whiny brat that you've seen in all these sorts of movies. But they go a different route with him. They make him very likable from the start. He has great chemistry with Timberlake from the beginning, and his character remains very consistent. And the direction they go with him fits into the movie's themes of acceptance and being who you are. We learn early on this kid doesn't conform to gender stereotypes, and the things he's interested in get him endlessly bullied at school. And initially, Palmer attempts to change him, but he sees how happy Sam already is, and as he gets to know him more and bonds with him, he begins to mature, and he backs away from his initially closed-minded views. Now, of the supporting performances, I thought Alicia Wainwright was the biggest standout here. I know she's done some TV work before, but this is the first time I'm seeing her in anything, and I thought she was incredibly charismatic, so I look forward to seeing more from her. June Squibb also had a nice performance as the grandmother, even though it's a very small role, but it was still nice to see her pop up. You also have Juno Temple as Sam's mom and Dean Winters as her boyfriend. They were fine with what they were given. They were fairly generic characters though, as they fit into these tropes. They're not around all that much, the mom's a drug addict, she's kind of portrayed in this somewhat cartoonish sort of manner that I didn't appreciate, as is her boyfriend, and I would have liked the film to do a little more with them. But the performances themselves were good, I will say. And because all the performances in general were pretty top-notch, they make most of these characters feel very real. Despite the journey feeling a bit too familiar and some things falling easily into place, the warmth that exudes a lot of these actors makes us able to connect with all the characters naturally, and they feel like people we'd want to meet and enjoy spending time with. And while it's more than enough to make this movie very enjoyable, it's just a shame the screenplay wasn't better, as it could have been something truly special given the talent on display here. I like this movie more than I was expecting to. It hits a lot of familiar beats, and a lot of these characters felt like generic tropes we've seen in countless other movies, but it still works, and that's mainly because of the performances. Justin Timberlake was great here, as was Alicia Wainwright, though it's Ryder Allen who truly steals the show and brings this to a nice level of authenticity that makes it a joy to watch. It also has some nice themes about acceptance and being true to yourself, and put all together, it makes this worth the watch. It's on Apple TV Plus now, so if you have it, definitely give it a shot. Palmer gets a 7.5 out of 10. So let me know, did you see Palmer, or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Did you like the story? Do you want to see more acting roles from Justin Timberlake? Let me know in the comments below so we can discuss. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll catch you next time.